Welcome to The Dirt, where you can get your weekly dose of quick gardening know-how. Gardening is actually an accumulation of knowledge, and there's always something new to discover. But sometimes you just want the facts, and you want them fast. So let's dig in and let's get to the good stuff. Hey everybody, Michelle here, and today we're going to get right down to the dirt on bellflowers. We are going to profile this great perennial that you can add to your garden. Now don't worry, because I will guide you through everything you need to know to keep these charming beauties happy, healthy, and blooming their little heads off in your garden. They are delightful plants, and they actually come in a lot of colors. Now primarily they come in white and purples, but you can also find pinks and blues out there as well. They range in height from a petite 6 inches to a dramatic 36 inches. So whether you need a star for the front of your border or you need something a little bit further back, maybe bellflower will be for you. Let's talk about light and water and make sure that we're giving our bellflowers the VIP treatment. Now, most campanellas are pretty chill about where they grow. They want full sun, or they'll grow in light shade. Now, if you're further south, you might have to protect them from that hot afternoon sun. And the further north you go, actually the more shade they can handle. But they're probably gonna need at least 5 hours of sun. You wanna keep your soil evenly moist. Now, don't make it soggy. You don't wanna drown them. But you wanna make sure wherever you put them that they drain well. Cool nights, oh, that's their jam. And they really shine in climates that offer a bit of relief after sunset. Now, these beautiful flowers are not just divas in your garden. They do appreciate a little snack in early spring. And if you apply a light application of a balanced fertilizer, they'll be just fine. Now, if you want a little extra credit, mulch around the base of them to keep the roots cool, but leave about 1 inch of breathing room around the crown. And don't dump that mulch when you're going along with your wheelbarrow on top of that plant, because you will definitely have problems later. If you do spot leaves looking a little distorted or yellow, it might be aphids. Now, aphids are pretty easy to get rid of. A quick spray of an insecticidal soap will send them packing. Now, if you see slimy trails or chewed up leaves, especially on some of those bellflowers that are lower to the ground, that usually means slugs are the culprit. So you can hand pick them off, you can trap them, or try some diatomaceous earth or copper barriers. Any of those are really good to use to get rid of the slugs. If you have a great solution, leave it down below. Can you get a disease on bellflowers? Well, it is possible, but it's pretty rare. They're usually pretty disease-free. If you do get it, you're going to see it on the leaves, and it's going to be rust, and it'll be on the undersides, and it's going to be powdery orange or maybe brown spots. Now, if you do get that, just remove those infected leaves and then treat it with a wettable sulfur product the next spring. Now, the other thing that can happen is if you see the base turning black and mushy, then you've got crown rot. And that usually happens because we overwater it, we dump mulch on top of it, and they couldn't dry out in between waterings. So you want to make sure that you don't overwater or dump that mulch on top. These little buddies that they like and pair well with are foxglove, salvia, nepeta, yarrow, lamb's ear, lady's mantle, or even roses. And you can kind of create this nice dreamy cottage vibe adding these to your garden. They have a really delicate form and soft colors complement just about anything. Oh, but bellflowers have one thing that if I had to say I wish I didn't have to do this would be it, and that is deadheading. Deadheading can feel a bit tedious, especially on those tiny flowers, but trust me, it is worth it for the longer blooms if you've got the time to go out in your garden and do that. For hard workers like harebells or lactifolias, you can cut them back by 1/3 after they're done blooming, and that will encourage a second growth of blooms to occur. Now, if you're growing Siberian bellflowers, it makes fabulous ground color, and it does tolerate a dry, shady spot. You're going to trim it down to about 2 inches after it's done flowering, and it's going to grow back with a new canopy of foliage. So not too bad as far as the maintenance goes, but you do have to pay a little bit of attention to them. Now you want more. Well, guess what? They like to be divided every 3 to 4 years. Go ahead and divide them in early spring or fall. That's the best time to do it. And make sure you give them a good drink of water after you move them to their new home. These plants are low maintenance, they're gorgeous, and I guarantee you they will bring a little charm to your garden. Remember, a happy bellflower is a well cared for bellflower. If you've got questions or tips of your own, drop them in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. Until next time, that's the dirt.